Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Atlanta. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Bueller. We've got William Huey Jensen on the left versus Alex Mashelton. This is Huey's 7th Grand Prix top 8 this season. This
15th of his career.
15th of his career. This is Alex's 7th GP top 8 for his career, so very respectable. Now, Huey has won one in the past.
Huey's won 3.
He's won 3 total, but I mean, he's got a win under his belt. Alex does not yet, so he's
yeah,
really
that makes him in the minority in this top 8. 5 of these 8 guys have a GP win.
Unbelievable. Alex decides to trade off his Oresco Sun Guide for the blood-crazed Hoplite from William Jensen, but Huey's got a follow-up play. Let's see what it is. I'm really curious to see how Huey built this deck. We got to
more
watch
black
him
than
draft
green.
it.
Right, more black than green.
Okay. He's going to go with Nyx Weaver here on turn 3, so a really solid turn 3 play here. And Alex now reveals his other color to Huey. It's blue, and he plays Warwing Siren. Very solid.
So both those Setets and Oathsworns are in the sideboard.
They're on the board. He didn't have quite enough to enable them.
Yeah, also it makes his mana better. He didn't want to play double green, double black.
Okay.
So I don't think he has double green.
Speaking of double black, here's Asphyxiate to send the Warwing Siren crashing to the ground. Get in there for 2 damage, but Huey misses his 4th land drop. We're going to be keeping an eye on that. And here's Vanguard of Brimaz for Alex Mashelton. I was wondering where that would end up. And it looks like Gray Merchant and a Swamp hit the bin there from the Nyx Weaver's triggered ability. Still looking for that 4th land drop. Has he found it? No, but he's found Nyx Infusion, and that's going to give it -2/-2 and kill it. So a little bit of a deep breath there for Huey, but it works out for him, and he gets to battle in there for 2 more damage. So he's been able to keep the board managed while missing land drops here. Of course, anytime you're not hitting your lands, you're drawing spells. As long as you're 3 or less, he's going to be able to keep things moving forward. But Alex now hits his 5th land drop, and this is where things can get a little hairy for Huey. Is, you know, now he can start playing stuff that's just outright bigger than what Huey maybe can deal with. Is that Riptide Chimera in his hand?
Quite possibly.
I think it is, and I think it's a little awkward here. He really doesn't have anything to bounce with it. That doesn't mean you can't play it, though, and he is going to play it here. This is uncommon. Yeah, I think people think that, you know, if you untap with it, you just die or something. You don't. You still get to use your mana. It's going to block the Nyx Weaver. Obviously not a great situation, but it's okay. It has to bounce itself on his upkeep.
4th land.
4th land, and Disciple of Phoenix here for the full amount.
Yeah,
and it's going to reveal Mortal Obstinacy, which is interesting. Interesting, he also could have played it there.
Interesting.
He could have played Obstinacy and then bounced it, but he didn't. And there's Leonin Snarecaster as well, as far as options go.
Why would you not play the enchantment?
I don't know. He's going to take Mortal Obstinacy, so now that leaves Mashelton with nothing to bounce even in his hand, let alone on the battlefield, so jumps right back in there. And I think he's going to be able to replay and then also play on a Crowan Skyguard here.
Maybe he's saving the Obstinacy for something like a Skyguard, but whatever. You pick it up again with the Whiptide Chimera.
Right.
Interesting line.
A lot of lands have hit the bin here for
Is that the Eidolon? Yeah, Eidolon and Blossom.
And the Eidolon too, yeah.
Wonder if that's juicy enough as a Nyx Weaver target.
The order doesn't matter, right?
Right. Yes, now the Snarecaster that's in Mashelton's hand doesn't do a whole lot on board against a 2/3 and a 1/3.
That said, Huey's not really moving forward greatly here either. No attacks at the moment.
He's the one with the grip full of cards, though.
Indeed.
Haven't got a good look at what they are. I see Fellhide Minotaur. That's not the most exciting, but does have 4 spells in his hand. Mashelton's 1. If the game goes long, it feels like Huey has a decent late game. Mashelton has a Brimaz.
He's got an actual Brimaz?
Yes.
Okay, so
not
he
just
has
the
baby
Vanguard.
Brimaz and the big Brimaz.
Yes.
All right.
It's a 2 loyal Pegasus, which maybe get an offense going in the air if you can deal with Nyx Weaver somehow. But yeah, I feel like his late game, I mean, his supply line Cranes, his deck is pretty aggressive. Whitewater Naiads could bust through in the late game.
His late game sounds pretty nice. All right, is that Aspect of Gorgon? Yeah. Aspect of Gorgon is going to enable an attack here from the
Interesting.
formerly 1-3 disciple of Phoenix. And he's also going to get to keep his board moving forward with a Tormented Hero.
Yeah, Huey's still got 2 Lash of the Whip in his deck.
Yeah.
He's got a Farika's Mender that's nice in the late
He
game,
wheeled
especially.
that.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, he
It
chose
was
to wheel
sweet.
it, right?
He
It
chose
was the best
and-
card in his pack. He took the Tormented Hero
Yep.
because he knew it was coming back.
And he was correct. It was awesome. All right, Riptide Chimera jumps back into hand and then back onto the battlefield.
Noble Quarry would be fun with the aspect.
Oh, yeah. Aspect also something. Did either of the Crewfix's Insight make it into Huey's deck?
I don't think so. No, they're both
Okay.
on the board.
You made Rashad sad, but made me kind of happy.
It's a pretty juiced yard. Huey's going to wind up having to sack that Nyx Weaver at some point.
Yeah, I feel like he's just reluctant to spend the turn to do it. He did
Right.
draw an extra land here.
I mean, he's still got, what, 20 cards probably?
Mm-hmm.
8 in play, 3 or 4 in his hand. There's like a dozen in the
There's
yard.
13 in the yard, yeah.
He's got what, 15 cards left then? 16, I think.
Oh man, Spiteful returned. No bounce spells, please, says Huey Jensen.
Well, he knows exactly. He knows what the one card is.
Yeah, I mean,
Or no, the Snarecaster came down. He doesn't. There's only one card he doesn't know.
right. There's also the top of the library.
True.
He hits his land, ships it back. Alex has been just tied up with that Riptide Chimera for the duration of the game. Only 1 blue mana also
How good
for
is Grey Merchant here?
Modulaton.
What are we up to? One,
Let's
two,
see.
three, four, five, six,
1, 2,
seven?
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8. With the Grey Merchant.
Yeah, 8. Right. I mean, maybe that he's waiting for that to get with Nyx Weaver. He hasn't spilled it, right?
You know, I thought he did. No, I don't see it down there. Maybe he hasn't.
I haven't noticed it go by.
Okay. Voltron is getting in there.
Yeah. Yeah, Grey Merchant is now lethal. Oh, he's gonna chump block. But even the Spiteful returned all by itself was enough to get him in Grey Merchant range. I guess he can't sack and play Grey Merchant all in the same turn.
But he can give himself some nice inevitability there.
Right.
All right. Chosen by Heliod from Alex. Oh, that's
No.
just going to prompt a Lash of the Whip here.
Oh, but he's got
interesting.
God's Willing.
God's Willing is going to protect it. So he's going to get a counter from God's Willing. He's going to get a Scry.
Yep.
And then he's going to get another counter from the Chosen. And he's going to get to draw the card that he either put on top or get a fresh one after scrying one to the bottom. So pretty nice little turn here for Alex. But yeah, he's still under a lot of heat. And he does not want that card that's on top.
All right. God's Willing resolves. Lash gets countered. Chosen resolves. Trigger. So 3/5 Skyguard.
He drew Whitewater Naiads, and he still only has a single blue mana available.
Ouch.
So I think we're going to see that Chimera for the 100th time.
Yeah,
But
what else
now
you
at
gonna
least
do?
he has something to start looping with it, with the Chosen by Heliod there.
Yes.
It's a big
And that's
game.
why Huey was just like, Lash of the Whip. I need to fizzle this.
Yeah, it wasn't for life total considerations. He's at 19.
And it wasn't just to mess with Skyguard. It was.
Nope. Interesting.
Oh,
There's
there's
a
Noble
Noble
Quarry.
Quarry hits the yard.
I think he drew a swamp.
I think so too.
All right, now what? You're still attacking with Disciple here, right?
Yeah, I mean it does 2 automatically, bringing Alex down to 5.
If Alex is getting toward jump block mode, maybe Huey does an Alpha Strike.
He's
Okay.
going to sack this. Now, what is he going to get? What is floating around down there that he wants? Feast of Dreams, which he can play
Nice.
right now. Destroy target enchanted creature
Wow.
and attack you. Get a trigger.
I missed
force
that
a
one
chump
going
block.
by.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see. He's got a pretty piled up
It's a
yard there.
great
But
line.
nice one there for Huey, and he is on the verge of taking down this game. Alex just has to say go.
Combat.
Kill you?
Trigger.
Yep.
And
dead.
that's the slow scoop there from Alex. So Huey Jensen up a game
Very nice.
in our quarterfinals here. We're in Atlanta. This is draft.
Live look in. Awesome. Is this still game one? I guess these guys like
It is
slightly late
indeed
start.
0-0.
Saito with the Siggled Skink. Vidi is just on a Bear Rollicker.
Yeah,
Which are not the most exciting draws.
pretty nice trade offer here, though, from Saito. You got to figure that VD is interested in taking this up.
Yeah, you clearly block. You try to trade here, right? I did see Saito with
All right, life
Bolt.
totals are 20-20. All right, Blade Tuskboar, though, is a nice follow-up play here for Saito. Saito's deck looked insane, by the way, from
Wingsteed
the
Rider,
draft.
Spear of Heliod, Ordeal of Heliod, Divine Verdict, Chain to the Rocks, Snarecaster. Also, Dragon Mantle, a couple Skull Cleavers, Spearporn Oriod. He's 9-7 in favor of Plains.
So only 16?
Yeah, I don't see any temples. Looks like he went 16. He's pretty aggressive. He's got the Eidolon of Countless Battles in the Sun Guide. Got a Bolt, 2 Rise to the Challenge. Searing Blood's in the sideboard.
Wow, are you serious?
How many mountains did I say?
7, I think.
Yeah, he's not playing Searing Blood off 7 mountains. But he is playing the Bolt of Keranos. Rollicker, a couple Revelers also on his board. 3 Acroan Mastiff in the main. Trailblazer, Swift Claw, Blade Tuskboar, Forgeborn Oriad, Satyr Hoplite, Siggled Skink.
How many Crone Mastiffs did he end up running?
3. All
he
3 are
played
in the
all
main.
3, all right.
And I think 2 Rise to the Challenge, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2
Yeah.
Rise to the Challenge in the main. So yeah, he's got some aggressive creatures, he's got some tricks, he's got some Acroan Mastiffs, he's got some burn. Doesn't
Chain
sound
to the
quite as
Rocks,
ridiculous. He's
too.
also got Chain to the Rocks. Doesn't sound quite as ridiculous as it looked when he was drafting it, but
That sounds insane to me.
it sounds good.
Eidolon of Countless Battles, like,
Have you heard about Vidianta Wijaya's deck though?
no. I know nothing about
All
it
right.
other than it's
Hammer,
apparently green.
Hammer
red.
Perforos,
Okay.
and Perforos' Emissary.
Oh, really? The
yeah,
trio?
Perforos theme deck. He's got a
Rage?
Stone Shock.
Rage of Perforos?
No, I don't think he would run it even if he had it, but was not saddled
You
with
can
that
play that
decision.
card.
You can.
I'm not saying it's
You
not
can
that
also
bad.
like have it rot in your hand while you wait for turn 5. Fanatic of Xenagos,
Oh, a tough guy, I see.
2 Bolt of Keranos, and a Fall of the Hammer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of those floating around this draft.
Sunchaser Rollicker, he's running Satyr Nicksmith. He's running one of his 2 Lightning Diadems, Mogi's Warhound,
He loves that card. He played it in Sealed, too.
Line Breaker. Anyway, yeah, these guys basically split the red so far as I could tell. I don't know if there are any other red drafters. Yeah, John Stern is, oh right, John Stern is green-blue. He's running double Hippocamp. 3 time to feed in John Stern's
Oh,
deck.
really?
Yeah.
Any Asps of the Nessian variety?
No.
That's someone I like to see with
His
the time
green,
to
his,
feed.
he doesn't have any green creatures from Theros. Just,
Nothing?
well, a Savage Surge and 3 time to feed. That's his green from Theros.
Oh, that's sad. There's a lot of really good green cards in Theros or green
He got a
creatures.
Prognostic Sphinx from Theros. Is that good?
Oh, that's good. All right, Wingsteed Rider here for Saito, and he is just building out his board. A little bit awkward for him facing the other red player with his Blade Tuskboar.
Yeah. Yeah. McLaren is blue-white. Fennel is blue-black. I think these are the only 2 red mages. I think I'm missing 1 deck list.
Okay.
No, I've got them all. Never mind.
There's Perforos now for BD. there's an ordeal for Saito.
Yeah.
And everybody
Send
in.
everybody. Is he actually going to be able to outrace Porphyros here?
Probably pretty easily. Why don't we head back over to our main feature match area here. Looks like Magleton's down to 6 cards here.
It's good news for William Jensen fans.
He's holding 7 in his hand right now. All right, it was a keep, and they are underway here in the early stages of the quarters. Renowned Weaver for Jensen to start. Ooh, no second mana here for Magleton. We could be in for a quick game here potentially. Though, I will say that Huey's deck isn't necessarily the most blazing fast when it comes to just outright closing out the game. It's more of a middle type deck. Okay. It's a start.
It doesn't let him cast Phalanx Leader.
No, it doesn't. But Phalanx Leader doesn't do a ton here anyway. Probably rather just have that Snare Caster.
You're okay with people quoting you as saying you'd rather have Snarecaster than Phalanx Leader?
I mean, in this scenario,
Watch
yes.
Cliff 2014.
Yeah, I'm sure that's already been done. Hey, he draws
Yeah,
the second
planes off
white
the
mana
top.
source, so he can actually play that Phalanx Leader. Does he have a way to target it yet? I think he's got Vanguard of Brimaz, which I would also rather have than Phalanx Leader at this point. The list grows longer. All right. Alex and I see eye to eye on that one. Because, I mean, this could get pretty dreamy for Alex if he can keep drawing lands. Like, maybe target the Vanguard, make a Cat Soldier, and then just start firing everything at that Phalanx Leader. Any other targeted effects he has, just go for it. All right.
2-3, get in there.
And he does. And there's Eidolon of Blossoms. Draw a card. Now, this is where things can get sketchy. Now, one thing that we have to remind you of here is Renowned Weaver makes an enchantment creature. So he has an instant speed way to draw a card potentially sitting on the battlefield already, let alone the things he has in his hand, which I can't actually see at the moment. So now Alex is starting to have to deal with even more threats. The only card I can see for sure in Alex's hand is Supply Line Cranes along with Phalanx Leader. He's got a Nyxborn Shieldmate as well, though. So does he want to wait on the Shieldmate, or does he want to start making 1/1s now? Wants to make 1/1s. So Shieldmate, trigger, make a Cat Soldier, and attack for 3. No blocks. Huey drops down to 17, and Alex passes a turn back, having missed another land drop here. In a pretty nice spot, though, having hit running lands to get himself at least a board presence going. A proper Cat Soldier there. Remember, it has Vigilance.
Yeah.
Can be important.
So what's Huey's follow-up?
That's
Got his Eidolon. It lived long enough for him to untap. That's always good news.
That is the big question
Don't
here.
see a land.
He's got Satyr Grove Dancer. He can throw a counter around. He's going to put it on his Fellhide Minotaur, bumping that up to a 3/4 and entering the red zone.
He's been attacking pretty aggressively with that Minotaur. He's been representing tricks the whole time.
Yeah, now, Alex has a block here, right?
Alex had a block last time that he declined. I mean, his last time it was a double block.
It was
a
yeah, we would lose the creature. He just has
Yeah.
like a straight up put my Vanguard in front of your guy here.
But then he's risking his Vanguard.
He's risking it, but he does make Huey have something.
Yeah, not interested.
Not interested.
Huey's left up. Weaver is 2 or 3 to activate.
Weaver's 2.
Yeah, so he can activate the Weaver, make an enchantment creature, draw a card. Huey did miss his land drop that turn.
All right, so Vanguard goes in. There's a block. There's a sack. He's going to save himself 3 life. He's going to get a Spider, and he's going to get a trigger off of Eidolon of Blossoms. He does not draw land. He draws Farika's Mender.
It's not bad.
Not too bad. He's already
Go
got
get the
the
Weaver again.
target down there, yeah.
Although we'll need the 5th land, obviously.
And there's Oresco's Sun Guide. So Alex, again, he's able to keep deploying threats here, but really needs to start hitting these land drops to make things move forward even better for him.
Yeah, the army of dorky little white creatures doesn't work well against Eidolon Blossoms.
No.
Now, Phalanx Leader could turn the tide.
Yes. So Huey did find a swamp there with that draw step.
That's what he needed.
Well, he had made his mind up, but it looks like he's changed it. What is the play for Mr. Jensen here? Nixon Fusion, and he's going to take down the Oresco Sun Guide with that, and of course, going to get another trigger off of Eidolon Blossoms, and Huey's just kind of going off here. Kill your guy, draw a card for 3 mana. That's pretty nuts.
I was thinking that card is a sorcery. It never stays in play.
Right.
But no, it is in fact an enchantment.
Yep. And there's a Blood Crazed Hoplite just to keep the board state moving forward for Huey. Doesn't really do a ton here currently.
Alex doesn't have anything resembling sweepers. Like recouping that Eidolon Blossom's card advantage isn't happening. He can kind of sort of race it with Phalanx Leader.
Yeah, here's Phalanx Leader.
And here's Phalanx Leader.
Right, and he's got, I think, an Aqueous form here.
He does?
Okay, that's a decent start.
It's like Huey's building out and Alex is building up. And
right.
I don't know how this plays out.
I don't either. This is going to be really interesting because Huey is completely tapped out here, so he's going to be taking some amount of damage. Remember, the Phalanx Leader can't attack this turn, so he doesn't take it from that. The question is, does he want to risk the Vanguard? Huey does have a ton of creatures over there, a lot of expendable ones as well. You got to figure that if Huey wants this game to go long, he's going to be able to
they're all expendable except the Eidolon Blossoms, I think. No attack?
No attack. Send it back.
Alex, let's go.
And Huey can breathe a sigh of relief. Now, he's not happy to see that Phalanx Leader over there, but he's not under immediate pressure at least, and maybe he untaps and can kill it here. Now, there's an ominous plane sitting there for Alex Majleton, though. I mean, let's say Huey has Lash of the Whip in his hand. Ugh. You get that thing, God's willing, and it is just miserable for you. So this is interesting.
Yes.
This is the real deal here about playing around different things, because if Huey decides that is the case, he can wait and do it during the upkeep so that he makes Alex use a pretty big percentage of his lands just to play it. But what if he has something else, right? What if it's something that costs more? Something like Battle-Wise Valor, for example. That would also save the Phalanx Leader from a Lash of the Whip, but Alex can't cast that now. He could if he went to his upkeep. So these are all the things that Huey has to try to grind out. And of course, I'm assuming he has a card like Lash of the Whip. He might just not have that at all. This is if he's in a good spot, these are the decisions he's going to be making. He does have a swamp, so he'll have 6 mana this turn.
Asphyxiate would get the job done through, again, anything but God's willing. I guess Johnny's Presence also beats Asphyxiate.
Yes.
Those are the two most likely things for Alex to have with that untapped plane. I'm not sure how much of that he has in his deck.
Yeah,
but I mean, you don't even have to have the card all the time. You can just represent it.
That's right. So
people will give you credit.
Farika's Mender is going to get back Nixon Fusion. That's not going to come down this turn, though. I know that Huey's got an Eye Gouge, but he's just going to pass a turn back here. A lot of times people forget that Farika's Mender can get back enchantments as well. As it usually gets a creature, but can get enchantments.
Phalanx Leader is going to attack. Aqueous Swarm is going to make it unblockable. Scry.
These scries are very important for Alex, as he still stumbled on his mana, only able to play 4. thanks to his solid build, though, and really good mana curve, he's still be able to put up a nice fight here, has a good board state going, and has it pretty well stalemated here. But he needs to find more lands to be able to cast his really powerful stuff like Supply Line Cranes. All right, I think Alex may have just passed a turn back here. Yeah, he did. So Huey's going to get an untap. Remember, he has Nyx Infusion in his hand here. And there's a lot of mana untapped for Alex Majleton.
Yep.
Huey would love to fire it off on that Phalanx Leader.
Would you go for that here?
Man, it really depends what the other cards in my hand are.
I mean, if Alex has nothing, it'll work. You will kill the Phalanx Leader. And, you know, even if Alex does have something, well, I guess if he can fizzle it with a God's Willing, then you don't even get your card from Eidolon of Blossoms. But if it comes into play and the Phalanx Leader stays alive thanks to a counter from, like, a Battle-Wise Valor or something,
yeah,
you do get your card.
Yeah, because you'd figure that at some point that thing's going to get targeted by whatever it is that Alex has anyway. So you're not giving up a ton.
Yeah, it depends on what the opportunity cost is of the rest of his hand.
Right. That's the question, is what else does William have that he could be playing instead of that?
Right.
And how does he weigh the risks together? And that's, I mean, that's magic. That's magic in a nutshell at this level. And Huey's one of the best at figuring it out. It's Asphyxiate, but he's actually not able to target the Phalanx Leader with it because it's tapped. Remember, it attacked with the Aqueous form.
He had that Asphyxiate last turn and did not go for it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw that splash of color in his hand.
Okay. So he's going to try to take out Vanguard of Brimaz. This should draw out any combat tricks that Alex has because he's still in his best interest to build out his board. Though,
although
as
Alex
we see,
knows about the Nyx Infusion.
About what?
The Nyx Infusion. Like, he might save his trick to save his Phalanx Leader from this play, which is probably, I mean, that felt like,
is Huey going
trying
for
to
it?
bait.
He's
He
still
is going
trying to
for
bait
it, but
it
not
out.
on Phalanx Leader.
Interesting.
He's just going to kill everything else. That is interesting.
This way,
But
if
now
Alex
something
wants
targeting Phalanx Leader also saves, well, it keeps the Snarecaster alive, I guess.
It does. It totally does. Interesting. He pump faked the tap on 2 mana there. Is that just posturing? Let's see if he's got something. He's deep in the tank now.
Alex does seem capable of that bluff.
What does he have? Does he have Battle-Wise Valor? Wouldn't use it here. I guess he could. I guess he could. Yeah, I would keep his guy alive. Use it on his Phalanx Leader. Get a counter. And at least let it be a recipient for future counters. Alex looks like he's made a decision here. What is that, a last breath? What is that? Oh, he's playing something else anyway.
Oh,
I can't
he's
see
going
what
to kill
it
the
is.
Eidolon of Blossoms. Is that Deicide?
Yes, it's Deicide. Okay.
So he removes the Eidolon of Blossoms from play
and
before Nyx Infusion resolves.
And
Not
he has
interested in
God's
letting
Willing?
Huey draw a card.
he does have God's Willing as well.
And now
And
he's got a choice.
Yes.
He
and
can fizzle the Nyx Infusion, or he can target his Phalanx Leader, pumping everybody up. Nyx Infusion will wind up in play.
But now that it's not a card draw as well, it just doesn't sting that bad. I mean, he still gets to keep his Leonin Snarecaster, which can pick up future counters from the Phalanx Leader as well. Interesting.
So he was pretty patient with that God's Willing. He did everything he could to bait it out with the Asphyxiate. Like, he did not run Asphyxiate into it last turn. This turn, he gave a window for God's Willing to counter the Asphyxiate. But Alex would rather have God's Willing in his hand than Vanguard of Brimaz in play.
Yeah, I guess he figured, look, that other creature was slightly bigger, but I mean, he's already got this this Nyxborn shield made back up to a 2/3, and you know, with one more counter, it's back to 3/4. So. Yeah, Alex knew that he needed to protect the Phalanx Leader over everything else, so he kept his God's Willing for that. Prioritization from Alex there, and Huey now has decided, do I have attacks here or what?
Probably.
Yeah, he does. He's going to attack for 7.
Yeah, Phalanx Leader is pro. I didn't hear the color. I'm guessing black. But it's tapped, so it's not available as a blocker. That would have been the other advantage of pointing God's Willing at the Snarecaster, in addition to fizzling the Nyx Infusion, effectively giving it +2/+2. Well, I guess +1/+1 is all you really get out of it. But you would get a blocker. So that's now 3/3 Cat Soldier. Looks like it wants to trade with the Mender. That seems like a good trade for Alex.
That seems like a fine trade for Alex's side there. Huey gets in for 3 damage, passes a turn back. Alex falls down to 11 life. Draws his card for the turn. He's hit his 5th land finally. I know he's got a supply line Cranes floating around in his hand there. And there it is.
Yeah, keep making the Phalanx Leader bigger.
Yep.
It's unblockable via Aqueous Form.
It is. So it's 4 damage.
Power.
That's pretty good.
4 turn clock.
Puts a card on the bottom thanks to the Scry from Aqueous Form as well.
Alex
back
is
on
empty-handed. No cards. I think that was Grizzly Transformation. Fun with Eidolon Blossoms.
Yeah. Divination.
Huey with one of those somewhat rare deep thinks.
Yep. He has a lot of mana at his disposal, a fairly muddled board here, and like 5 cards in his hand. So no decisions are going to be easy here.
Magleton, 3rd in this top 8 in terms of raw number of previous GP top 8s. This is number 7 for him.
Which puts him at a fairly distant 3rd as well.
Yeah, it goes 19, 15, 7, 5, 5, 2, 2, 1. He's in the minority, though, for not having won one of these.
Which is insane.
Yeah, 5 of these guys have GP wins.
More people in this top 8 have wins than don't. I'm assuming that Jensen has the biggest time span there of wins. He won one this season in Oakland.
Yeah, he won one, I think, yeah, pretty much.
And he won one in the 90s.
Yeah, I think he won one before any of Saito's. And Saito doesn't have any recent wins, so.
Saito's been playing for a long time, too, but.
Yeah, not quite as long as Jensen.
Jensen's a true old schooler.
Yeah, Jensen goes back to the 90s. I played Pro Tours with Jensen.
There you go.
I actually remember his first Pro Tour.
Okay, Grizzly Transformation on Blood Crazed Hoplite, and he's going to steal
+1
counters.
counters.
Yeah. It's a vampire-like
I kind of expected that ability to come up more often than it seems to when I first read the card.
Yeah, I remember talking to BDM who had drafted it early and had good success with it off of that, but it does seem to be a little harder to get to happen than we'd like. I mean, Heroic is down a little bit. Not quite as much of it as we were used to, so makes some sense. But there's 3 damage coming in.
3 power Intimidate.
Things got Intimidate. It's going to put a clock on. Aqueous Form versus Grizzly Transformation. And again, Huey's just going to kind of dump his hand on the board here.
Flesh Mad Steed. Is Huey out of cards too?
I believe so.
No, he's not.
No, I saw him shuffle something, so he's got at least 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he got multiple activations off of his Eidolon Blossom, so he's still kind of riding that wave.
This seems like the kind of game Grey Merchant could just come down and change everything.
Oh, yes.
Just pretty much end the game.
Warwing Siren after an attack here. Fine. It's fine.
Yeah, Huey's at 8. So Magleton needs 2 attacks to win. I don't think he can win next turn. Huey can drop Alex to 5. Grey Merchant would just win it.
Oh, man.
Noble Quarry.
Noble Quarry, and he's going to get a trigger from Tormented Hero here. Yeah. And he's going to send the team in because Alex Magleton is out of cards. And he's just going to do a quick count. And that's going to do it. William Huey Jensen advances to the semifinals and gets another mark on his top 5 GPs for the season here.
He got his first point.
That was it. He got his pro
point. He's gone up from 42 to 43. Now that 4-way tie at 44. for the world seats, Huey could make it a 5-way tie if he
Oh,
wins
wow.
the semi.
Wow. And he could leapfrog some of those guys, too, with the
It-
win here?
yeah.
You get 8 points for a GP win?
Yeah.
This race is going to be insane.
Yes.
Jumping over to Tomohiro Saito. Ooh, and Vidianto Ojaya. They are
Game
tied.
3.
1 game apiece, so.
All right, good luck in the top 4.
So are we just looking in at this one, Rich, or are we're gonna go to this one? Great. All right, we're gonna get life totals and graphics set up for you. We're just in our look-in
More
mode
skull
here until then.
cleavers.
Oh man.
He's only got 1 skull. How do they both swing? Like, don't the axes get in each other's way?
Synchronized.
Synchronized skull cleaving?
Yes.
They're very good at coming in from both sides of Wijaya's skull.
That is it. Now, what can Vidi do to stem the bleeding here? Well, it looks like he's going to use the inspired ability from Satyr Nicksmith to make a 3-1. It has haste, though. I'm pretty sure that thing's going to be on blocking duty.
Yeah.
And Vidi passes the turn back rather calmly. Never a comfortable situation. We're getting life totals right now. All right, so Saito's on 18. And Wajaya's down to 10. So the only hit that Saito took was from the Nader Nick Smith. And that's idle on a countless battles, making
Yes,
that
it
thing
is.
massive. Randy, how big is that? I can't
Jeez.
count that
1,
high.
2, 6. I think it's 6? Fire breathing?
Yikes.
I think so.
Ugh.
6 fire breathing,
Vidi's
right?
just got to be miserable here with that. Right? I mean, he's got 5 or 6 cards in his hand. He has a perfectly nice start, and he is just getting thumped here.
Yeah, Satyr Nick Smith is greedy. It's like, spend all your mana.
Yeah.
Right now. I want all of it.
Yeah, that card should
I'll
be
give
black.
you a free 3-1,
Yeah,
but I want all your lands.
it's true. I mean, is Vidi in chump block mode already? How does he win this game if he has to chump block
I mean,
here?
going to 4 doesn't sound like fun.
It sure doesn't. But I can't see how he starts blocking here and wins this game.
Right.
Like,
Fire breathe. No, don't go to 4. Go to 3.
that also puts him in Bolt of
It
Keranos
does.
range, Lightning Strike range. So I don't think that Saito ended up with a Lightning Strike. I think,
Oh.
speaking of Bolt of
Speaking
Keranos.
of Bolt of Keranos, our life totals have not updated. We think VD's at 3, and we're right. Wow, Fall of the Hammer and a Bolt. Can he kill a 6/6?
Very awkward
I mean,
hand here
no,
for Vidi.
either of those. He can block and then fall in combat. Oh wow, he's got Portent of Betrayal too. But Saito's on 18. Fanatic of Xenagos feels like it's too slow.
It sure does.
It's turn 5. We've left that part of the game long behind.
So Vidi's at a critical juncture here in the
Yes.
quarterfinals. He's tied 1 game apiece with
No fifth land.
Saito. He doesn't have his 5th land. He's getting a double check
Yeah.
on Eidolon of Countless Battles, but
I mean, he can shrink it. I mean, he can shrink the Skull Cleaver that's wearing that Eidolon by killing the other Skull Cleaver. Then it's a 5/5 and you can double block. Does that do anything?
you mean like if he Bolt of Keranos is the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think his play is though leave up Fall of the Hammer and plan to block and Fall of the Hammer.
Looks like he's going for Nylea's
that's
Disciple
not
here
terrible.
to
Now he
gain
can-
2.
He could threaten a double block. Wow, that's mildly greedy. Oh, wow, he's attacking with the 3/1.
It's very brave.
Yes, it is.
I mean, if he plays the Disciple, he will have enough.
Well,
but-
no, he left the 2/1 back. He attacked with the 3/1.
So it's 5.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's a
only got
6/6?
5.
Oh, yeah. Gain 2, go to 5. So he can't take it. He's going to have
He's
to
going
block.
to have to chump block here.
Yeah.
I mean, Saito's got a potentially lethal creature. Just needs to connect once. He's in Abyss mode. VD is obliged to chump block. Does have both a red and a green creature, so he doesn't get blown out by God's Willing for unblockability. Feels like almost any two spells would. Well, we'll see what Tamaharo's got. Oh,
Jeez,
Ordeal of
Ordeal of Heliod plays a land, attacks with both, and in they go.
block and trade.
And here's Rise to the challenge. We knew that was
Yeah,
happening.
I'm
There's
not
no
trading.
way he's trading that off.
So chump block, chump block. VD down to that single token.
Still has a lot of cards in his hand, but
Yeah, I mean,
Saito is on the verge here.
Oh, fifth land's not nothing. Fifth land lets him.
What does he need? I mean,
It lets him play a creature and also play a fall. I mean, he can have a
Okay.
hammer fall on the Eidolon up Skullcleaver while it's a 3/3. I mean, I think that's step one. I'm not sure what step two is. Play Fnatic, I guess.
so Fnatic fall.
Yeah, Fnatic fall, and then hope you get to double block. Hope Saito used his tricks last turn. I mean, he did plow through a Rise to the challenge. Yeah, I think I play Fall the Hammer to kill the 3/3 Skullcleaver, and then play Fnatic, planning to double block the other.
Now I know VD also has Portent of Betrayal in his hand, so he's got to keep his eye out for just how big that Skullcleaver gets, and if he can just steal it and
Yeah, I don't see how he gets
get him. But
Tamaharu low
15's
enough when
yeah,
all of Tamaharu's creatures are lethal threats.
yeah, I think that's why VD was swinging with his Elemental before,
Yeah.
is that he's trying to set that kind of situation up, but he's towing a line very closely here.
Wow, looks like he's standing up away from the table. There's a question for the judge. I don't know what the card in Tamaharu's. If that's a combat trick in his hand, he's in great shape. Even if he's not, I think he's in decent shape. Do we have any updates from our two back table matches? Oh, McLaren Stern are 1-1 getting ready for game 3, so we're getting them in front of the camera right now. Okay, they've started game 3. We'll go there as soon as this ends. And then what about the other match, which is Fennell playing for immediate platinum? No updates from that match.
They're still battling.
Yeah. Fennell in his 5th top 8, GP top 8, and he has a win. And if the season ended right now, in the middle of this tournament, he'd be going to Worlds. So the first tiebreaker on those World spots is how many Pro Tour top 8s did you have?
In the season?
This season. So he's actually up, like having that top
Oh.
8. I think he's actually on top of that tiebreaker list.
Oh, interesting.
Hayne doesn't have one this year. Ben Stark doesn't have one this year. McLean doesn't have one this year. Oh, okay. So he was asking for Oracle text for Eidolon of Countless Battles. Oh.
So
The interaction with Portent of Betrayal was...
yeah, it's going to check Saito's stuff.
Yeah, it
right?
is Saito's Eidolon.
Yeah.
It will check Saito's stuff. A Crow and Linebreaker is the play here? Okay,
Crow
so-
and Chump Blocker.
No, he can double block. That's 5 power. If he kills the 1 Minotaur, like with attack, wow.
He's
Okay,
trying,
now
he's
it's a
trying
chump
to
blocker.
He's trying to set it up.
Yeah, he's not interested in the double block.
No.
I keep trying to make. He's playing for his Portent, so he's going to chump block. He's going to fall the other Skullcleaver.
Yeah, and he needs Saito to attack with both of them as well.
All right, you do fall as a response to this trigger.
Right, in
Saito
response
with
to
the
trigger.
patented "I'm ready to attack." Can I elicit a response from you? Yes.
So
Isn't
here's-
he actually? Isn't he better off waiting for them to attack and then responding to the ordeal trigger? I think he would have been better off. Like now, Saito can change his mind about attacking.
I
He
think
should
so
have gotten
too.
Saito to commit to his attackers and then respond with the ordeal trigger on the stack. I mean, what Vinny's worried about is he doesn't want to let that Skullcleaver pick up a counter. Because if that Skullcleaver picks up an extra counter, then it survives Fall of the Hammer.
All right. Well, it actually doesn't because the Crone Linebreaker is going to get +2/+0, so it's
Fair
going to be
enough.
4.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Still, you may as well make Saito
Agree.
commit before you decide what you're doing. Now, this is a forced chump block. I mean, Saito will attack here. 4, so that's a 1/2. Is that a 5/5? Right. The Eidolon's giving it +3/+3, so this is a 5/5. That's a chump block.
Which is lethal.
It's
and
both
prompts a
lethal
chump block.
and just big enough to survive combat with the 4-power Linebreaker. Yeah, VD is playing for Porton.
Is Saito out of gas here? Can VD play a chump blocker every turn and then eventually Porton of Betrayal, the Minotaur Skull Cleaver to
Porton
finish
right
off
now
Saito?
is 8, gets Saito to 5. Not good enough. Saito might be out of gas.
Get Saito to 4?
8 would drop Saito to 4, yeah. Yeah, it's a 5/5 Skull Cleaver.
Oh, man.
This is game 3, right? This is
It
for the seed in the
is.
semis.
VD is taking a really cool line here. I know that VD's got Fanatic of Xenagos in his hand.
He's also got Bolt of Karanos in his hand.
And Bolt of Kronos, and I don't think he has a land, so he can cast one or the other.
Oh.
Bolt is so close too, because you can hit his face with it. All right,
Talking
so
to the judge again.
yeah, he's asking the judge again. I mean, this is huge. You know,
the
if
fire
his
breathing is
whole
also controlled by Saito, for the record. You cannot pump the Dragon Mantle.
that must be what he's
Is it-
asking about right
Am
now.
I right? The Dragon Mantle says.
You
Does
activate
it give
the
it to the
Dragon
creature?
Mantle.
Yeah, the Dragon Mantle is
Yes, you are right.
R:, your creature gets +1/+0. It's
Mhm.
not creature gains, quote.
Yeah, you know how I know that? Because on Magic Online, you have to click the Dragon Mantle, not the creature.
There you go.
Was he double checking Eidolon, or was he double checking Dragon Mantle that he can or cannot activate it?
Oh, he's still got 5 cards in his hand.
Eidolon, okay.
This is close. All right, it's going to go for Fnatic.
Here's Fanatic of Xenagos.
Hasty 4/4 or permanent 4/4? You go permanent 4/4, right?
I mean,
If you're Saito?
it depends on what Saito has in his hand. I mean, are we assuming he's on just nothing at this point?
If he's on nothing, he does not want to give away haste here.
Kazuya-han?
What is it?
Kazuya-han?
Like, if you're in VD's seat, are you just like, well, I guess he's out of gas?
You're hoping. You don't guess he's out of gas. You hope he's out of gas, which is different.
That is significantly different. What does he have?
I mean, he hasn't gone a whole turn without doing anything.
No. He passed the turn, so it's
He
something
did
with
pass the
instant
turn.
speed.
That's
+1/+1, hey.
all right. He is
He gave him the haste?
paying. No, I think that was pay the tribute. No, give him
No.
the haste.
So VD gets in for 4 potentially here? No, Divine
Divine
Verdict.
Verdict.
That's okay. That leaves VD alive, and he's got a Scorpion here. That's huge.
That is gigantic.
Now, interesting, VD did not attack, though, with his 3/1. I mean, he's been pretty comfortable playing one chump blocker.
True. If you're playing Sked Scorpion,
Yeah, I think you get in there for 3 and just hope he doesn't have a removal spell. Feels like you're not going to have a good chance to win this game if Saito's got a removal spell anyway. But VD, it also, of course, depends on what VD has left in his hand. We know he's got Bolt of Keranos.
Important Betrayal.
Important of Betrayal. He's got 1 unknown card. I think it might be Coordinated Assault, maybe?
What?
Maybe?
Really?
Maybe it's Blinding Flare? Something like that.
All right.
This is intense.
Skull Cleaver keeps heading in. He
Yeah.
attacks into the Sedge Scorpion.
All right,
Rise
so
to the challenge.
Rise to the
kills
challenge,
Skeld
trade it
Scorpion.
off. But, you know, I got to say, VD's whittling down Saito's hand.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
down to 1 card left.
Yes.
This is going to be intense. I think that's Blinding Flare, right?
I didn't see.
That could be really important here, too. If Saito comes up with just some random, let's say he just plays like a 2-power creature or whatever, on the turn that VD wants to steal and kill Saito, he has a way to actually make that not happen. And remember, any creatures that Saito plays makes that Skull Cleaver bigger, which is actually better for VD, I
It
think,
feels
down
like
the
VD
line.
might have missed an attack with the token.
Might have.
He attacked with just the Fnatic.
Could have
If I-
had him down to 9 here.
Right. I mean, obviously, his play was safer.
Yes.
Because if Saito could have cleared a creature, then he'd just win the game.
So Chris Fennell out.
Wow.
Charlie Murdoch through
Charlie
to the
Murdoch
semis.
through to the semis. The only man making his Grand Prix debut, Grand Prix top 8 debut.
So no instant platinum
No
for Chris
instant
Fennell.
platinum.
Yeah.
He's 1 point short. He's on 44, tied for the world seat. He will hit platinum at the Pro Tour, but he's going to need to go to another GP and pick up 1 more point if he wants instant platinum.
Maybe start looking for flights to Manchester there, Chris Fennell.
I see him walking toward the exit right now with his, he's got a
He looks a
horde
little
of about
sullen.
a dozen supporters. He is not a happy man.
No.
This was all about the quarterfinal match. He would rather have won that quarter, even if he knew he was auto-lose the semi. The quarter was the big match for him.
Okay, so I think that Vidi's actually going for the Porton right now.
Interesting. Yes,
yeah,
he is.
He's taking it. He gets a scry out of this, too.
Yeah, he does.
Ugh, this makes me nervous. This is really close. All right, now Saito's turn to ask the judge. Yeah. It is weird how that works.
Well, it will shrink, right? Because Saito no longer controls the Skull Cleaver. So Saito, it shrinks from a 5-5 to a 4-4. Because Saito currently controls 3 creatures plus enchantments, and he will instead control 2.
You're right. It'll shrink by 1, right, Rashad?
Yep.
Yeah, so
and he can't use the Dragon Mantle.
4-4 Skull Cleaver. So we can smack him for 7 down to 5. But he needs a blocker because that Minotaur is still a lethal threat when it's on Saito's side of the board. I think Vidi really wanted the scry now.
It does give the ability to the creature?
Oh, Rashad says Dragon Mantle gives the ability to the creature.
Maybe we read it wrong. That means that he can pump it if that's the case. Yeah? Enchanted Creature has it?
Enchanted Creature has quote.
So
that's
it does
the version
give
that
it
I
to
said
him.
gives it to it, yeah.
All right, interesting.
So that's a fire breathing, so it can hit for 6.
Can hit for 6
It is
here.
a 4-4. It can fire breathe up to 6, but that doesn't...
He could get him for 9 here. He's 1 mana short from being able to kill him with his
No,
bolt
you can't.
of-
You're double spending.
Oh,
the
yeah,
red
right.
mana.
You can't do that, of
If you
course.
fire breathe, you can't bolt.
So,
I have control.
right now, both of the players are figuring out exactly how big that Skull Cleaver is. This is a weird interaction, so we'll give him a minute to make sure everything's clear and sorted.
Right.
Yeah, you don't click the Dragon Mantle in Magic Online. You click the creature.
I guess so. Why do I think that?
I don't know.
I'm going to go on Magic Online after this and see what I was clicking.
So it's a 2-2 with or plus, yeah. Because this, I control this. Check my control number.
It feels like VD is still obliged to have a chump blocker around.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he can't attack with his elemental.
I mean, that Skull Cleaver is still going to be a 5-5 when it goes back to Saito's board. It's still a lethal threat. He's got to leave the elemental back. You can whack for 6 is what you can do. Whack for 6, chump block. He leaves himself with bolt and... Did he scry top or bottom?
I think he topped it.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, John Stern is through.
Sean McLaren's out.
Sean McLaren's out. So in the Canadian Civil War up there,
Yeah.
Stern is the victor. So take one for Montreal there.
All right, Saito takes 4 to 8. VD does not use the Dragon Mantle.
Why wouldn't he?
And doesn't use the red mana?
Oh.
Sorry,
Uh-oh, he says, wait a second, before damage. We're not at damage yet. Wait a second. And he wants
He
to
wrote
use
the life total down.
Yeah, and I think
Saito
that's...
is pointing to Vidi's life pad.
Yes.
Vidi changed the life total.
Vidi forgot to use the 2 red mana on the Dragon Mantle.
Ouch.
And he's going to ask the judge if he can still do it.
He changed the life total. That is pretty indisputable.
Bummer. That could be huge here for Vidi. It's looking like he's fallen far enough behind here where now he has to chump with the elemental. And then what is his game plan?
Yeah, I don't
Just
know.
play creatures and keep chumping forever?
All right. Sun Guide, which makes the Minotaur 1 bigger. Not super relevant. But yeah, chump. What does VD have? Oakenheart Dryads. Not good enough.
Yeah, Oakheart Dryads is not going to get it done. He can start firing Bolt of Keranos off, but
Yeah.
he just falls
I mean,
behind here.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it. Saito
Wow.
finds his way through to the semifinals here. I wonder if Vidi's going back and reliving the situation where he says,
if
maybe
that's
I
exactly
should
what
have
he's doing.
attacked. Yeah.
If I had attacked with the elemental, I would have done 3 more. Said Scorpion would have done the same thing. Then you're at 3 less life. I'm not sure it matters though, right?
I'm not sure it does either.
Well, he plays creature instead of portent on this turn. Yeah, he's definitely trying to figure out did he throw the game away.
He's saying he did. I think he's saying
He
I
thinks he
could
threw it
have
away?
killed you. I'm not convinced of that. Anyway, Saito's through.
That's it, right?
No matter which way we look at that one, and we have Huey as well. So you can take a look at our bracket here.